Hi. My name is Maja. Maja Solveig Kjelster Ratkje. That's a difficult name to pronounce, I know. I'm here in my home studio with my gear and my work space. And I live in Norway in a place called Svartskog. It's a little village south of Oslo. We live in the forest, so I can make as much sound as I want without minding disturbing the neighbors. Anyhow. Sometimes I work with acoustic sounds and I write scores also. I write scores for orchestras or for chamber ensembles, acoustic instruments. I write for theater and stage and dance performances and such. But I also use my own voice in a lot of my work, mostly by improvising with the voice, because the voice is my main instrument. And how did that happen to be? I started to sing when I was really small. I sang along with everything or anything that I heard. I wasn't particularly interested in or familiar with art music. I hadn't heard much of it, I guess. I don't have an artist family background, but I grew up with playing classical music also on the violin, and I started to play chords on the piano, so I learned a lot by figuring out myself how the instruments worked and trying to copy things that I heard. And then the voice. So I sang along with the things that I heard on the radio or popular music or things that I heard in a concert. So I recall also trying to imitate alarms or birds or squeaking sounds or people or languages that I didn't understand. Things that I heard around me that made me curious. Also, because I was interested in what the voice could do, if the voice could sound like an alarm or if the voice could sound like a bird. Obviously, you have to use whistling when you try to imitate birds. Or if you use other sounds connected to the voice that are not made by the vocal cords, you can do like a variety of stuff like my friend Jaap Blunk, a fantastic sound poet based in Netherlands. He's using a lot of these things, exploring other sounds that are created in this region. For example, I saw him once performing with 2 microphones, and he created a stereo soundscape oscillating between the 2 microphones. I can't do that, but it looked like... Or maybe I can. But he was also dividing his mouth with his hands. Making 2 different tones on each side of the mouth. Things like that. It's just the imagination that limits you when you try to create sounds with the voice. And the voice is so flexible, so that it ended up as my main instrument was due to that curiosity, imitating sounds, all sorts of sounds, and all sorts of music. One thing that really was crucial to me was the forming of the band Spunk, which are Lene Grenager on cello, Hild Sofie Tafjord on French horn, Kristin Andersen on trumpet, and me on voice, and various. When we were students, we often met and just played together. We wanted to form a new language that we didn't know existed, or we tried to find something that we didn't know the existence of. We wanted to create something new. We wanted to create new music by using our main instruments. And as our main instruments weren't typically band instruments or could form something related to jazz or to rock or even classical music, 2 of us not coming from a classical background as performers, everything was open in terms of what kind of music we would end up by doing. So Spunk still exists after, how long is it? This was in 1995. 26 years. Anyway, we don't play concerts really often, but when we do, then it's like coming home. It's our mothership. Performing with Spunk also gave me courage to stand on my own feet as a performer, also as a solo performer. So that's something I started to do around 2000. I made the record Voice, released on the Rune Grammofon in 2001. And that became a breakthrough for me to scenes all over to perform using the voice and electronics. To me, in the beginning, that was extremely demanding because I'm used to playing with the people. Improvising, to me, is about communication, how you communicate, not only with each other when you play together, when you are on equal terms on the stage, but also how you communicate with the room, with the circumstances, and also with your inner thoughts and expectations. And you communicate with what you've learned from before, your background, and your ideas about what is useful or suitable in the moment. Improvised music is so vulnerable. It's so in touch with the surroundings. In improvised music, you have to trust your inner motivation as well as your intuitivity, that you can make the right choices in a really, really short amount of time. Much shorter than you would think if you actively think about the different choices that you have along the way when you improvise. So you have to trust that you have practiced improvisation a lot, that you can deliver something in communication with the others that you play with. And when you play yourself, when you play solo, that you can use your own material in such an inner communication. Also a communication with the space that you are in. It's a sense which this one will of her and hard and sail for fears and tries and heights to go when for future is much more than is half of the healing start of something that is not to be explored. So when I started using the voice and finding stuff that were out of the comfort zone of normal, you could say, singing, I also started using electronics. And that opened up so many possibilities, because now I could make an whole orchestra with tools that I looked upon as an extension of the voice, an extension of my own creativity. Also tools that talk back to me and don't necessarily give me precisely what I imagined, but something else that I need to respond to. And I find it liberating also, because the cyborg doesn't have a history of a representation, so I can fill in whatever I want to into that kind of new being. Hello? Are you interfering in my lecture? Hello? Hello? Being a parrot is nice! Nice! No. Here we have an analog dictaphone with a dictaphone tape. Let's see. Shall I record something here? It depends on what I feel like when I bring something to a gig. So these kind of electronic tools, they are super flexible, and it's amazing what you can use today with software. When I started with electronics, in the beginning I used guitar pedals and the dictaphone that you saw, simple things like that, which I still use when I play concerts. This is the last version of a software created to me by Øyvind Brandtzæg, who lives in Trondheim and works at the university there, which is a collaboration that has taken shape over the last 20 years. And it changes all the time, and it gives me a lot of possibilities to play using MIDI controllers, sampling in real time, but not only looping, but processing in different ways. It's a lecture of its own to go in detail into those things. And I think still that the voice needs to give the most flexible input in order for the music to become interesting. I try to limit these concerts to using the voice as the prime instrument. Sometimes I also use analog instruments such as oscillators and theremin or noise instruments. It can vary a lot from time to time. Because sometimes I really get sick and tired of my own voice as well. So then I need something else. But now I haven't played much during the Corona time, so it's really fun to play again.